Friends, it is the dream of every young man to create his own identity, that his identity should be based on his ability and he should do something that he can be proud of. I had a similar thought as a businessman's son. This is the story of a businessman from Japan who was the richest man in the city. He had everything and no shortage of anything. The only trouble he had was with his son. One day the businessman said to his son, "Son, why don't you join me in business? You should know the rules and regulations of business. You should learn this because it's what you'll have to do in the future. If you don't try your hand in business, then what will you do?" The young man did not say anything to his father because his heart was not interested in business at all. He spent the whole day reading martial arts books, and whenever a samurai came to the city, he used to follow him all the time. One day the whole family got together and tried to understand him. They started saying, "You have such a big business. Still, why don't you want to extend your father's business? If you don't look after your business, then who will?" To this the young man replied, "I want to become something on my own. I want to have a different identity. People should know me, and that is why I want to become the best archer in this country." Hearing this from the young man, the businessman got very angry, but still he controlled his anger. After thinking for some time, the businessman said to his son, "Son, if this is what you want to do, then okay, I will help you in the next 3 years." Hearing this, the young man became very happy, and then the trader said, "But I have a condition." On this, the young man says, "What condition is it, father?" His father says to his son, "Look, I will give you a chance for the next 3 years. I am giving you time, but you have to tell me every year what you are doing and how much progress you have made in it. If you satisfy me with your work, then it is okay. Otherwise, you have to join me in my business." After a lot of thinking, the young man says to his father, "Okay, father, I accept your condition." Just 2 days later, the young man takes his father's advice and leaves home to learn archery. After traveling for many days, he meets the monk, who was famous in Japan for teaching archery and warfare. His fame was spread far and wide, but he used to make very few people his disciples. The young man approaches the guru and salutes him, saying, "Master, I have heard a lot about you, and that's why I traveled from a long distance to come to you. I want to learn archery from you. I want to get better at archery." The young man kept saying all kinds of things, but on this, the monk was not answering. When he did not answer for some time, the young man told him all that had happened at his home to his master. He explained how his father had kept the condition in front of him, stating that if he is not successful in his life, if he is unable to achieve what he wants to do in his life, then he will have to take his father's business forward. Furthermore, the young man says to the monk, "Master, I promise you that I will do my duty with complete devotion. Teach archery to me, and I will not waste your time. Please make me your disciple." The monk looked carefully at the young man and noticed that he had brought a lot of equipment with him. 2 of his assistants had also come with him. That's when the master said, "First of all, if you want to learn archery, you will have to give up these things. Send these precious possessions back to your home." The young man obeyed the master and sent all the possessions back home in the hands of his assistants. Then the guru said to the young man, "Look, if you want to learn archery, you will have to agree to 2 conditions." On this, the young man said, "Master, I am ready to do whatever you say. Just make me your disciple." Then master tells the young man about the conditions and says, "Here you will have to live your life like normal people, and you will have to do all the work yourself." On this, the young man says, "Yes, master, as you say." The monk continues and tells him the second condition to the young man and says that once you have started taking the education of archery, you will have to complete it. You cannot leave it in between. On this, the young man says, "It is okay as you say. I agree with everything." Monk made the young man his disciple, but that young man did not know that his method of learning was very different. One day, that guru called the young man to himself and started saying, "Son, just like you do daily chores, just like you move and breathe, you also aim the same way. So first of all, you have to be conscious. You have to know what you are doing, in what state you are. You need to be aware. So from today itself, be conscious in everything. Start working consciously and do it until it becomes your nature. The young man listened to those words. He concentrated on his actions. He started focusing on his walking, his breathing. After waking up in the morning, he would practice and meditate from 6 in the evening onwards. He would practice solitude and meditation. After meditating, he would go to sleep around 9 p.m. and wake up exactly at 4 a.m. in the morning, starting his day with archery practice. He used to do everything in solitude, and all these activities continued like this until 2 in the afternoon. During this time, he neither was supposed to get to know anyone nor met anyone. Even the young man was not even allowed to talk to anyone. There was no permission. He used to take care of the monastery along with all the other disciples during the working hours, that is, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The young man has been trying to learn with all his might. But as time passed, the enthusiasm of the young man started to wane. Now it was becoming very difficult for him to spend every single day in the monastery. Now the young man started ignoring his guru's advice. He broke all those rules and started chatting with all his fellow disciples. He told them about his business, what he had, and how rich a young man he was. Many people even became his friends because he thought that he is the son of a rich businessman, and that sooner or later we will definitely get some benefit in the future. Soon the friendship between the young man and the others was becoming deeper. From now on, the young man would come to his house at 12 o'clock at night. Along with his friends, young man used to run away from the monastery, go to the forests, gossip and have fun. Because of this, he was unable to wake up in the morning, and because of this, he never even meditated. One day, the master called the young man and started saying, "Son, I know that you do not stay in the monastery at night, nor are you practicing in solitude. I had already told you that if you once start the education of archery, if you take it, then you will have to complete it. Moreover, you had promised me that you will take the education of archery with full devotion and will not waste my time. If you continue doing like this, then after a year, when your father will ask you that what have you done in this 1 year? How much progress have you made in it? Then what will you answer to them? What progress will you show them?" On this, the young man says, "Oh, Master, you tell the truth. When I started, I had enthusiasm inside me. I had a curiosity to learn archery, but at that time I did not know that I would have to practice alone. I have been in solitude, and I find it very difficult. It seems as if every moment rushes to bite me whenever I meditate. When I sit, my mind starts to wander, and I don't know how to meditate, and that is why my worries increase even more. I do not understand that if I am not able to meditate, then how will I be able to complete my practice? Also, when I am relieved in solitude, all kinds of thoughts keep running through my mind. I want to get rid of him, but I don't know how to get rid of them." On this, Master started smiling and tells him, "Son, you are trying to run away from loneliness. Why would you do this? There is a lot of strength in loneliness. You should understand this, but still, if you want to leave this practice midway, then I will not stop you. You can go, but before you go, take just one word from me, young man, on this." The young man says, "Okay, tell me, Master." Then monk says, "Son, there is a very big mountain at a distance of 1 day from here. You have to spend the whole day there, and in the morning you will see an eagle there. You have to pay close attention on the movements of the eagle. But remember, you only have to pay attention and not to hunt it down. Just pay attention to his actions, what he's doing, why he's doing it. You have to watch him carefully. You have to understand his every action. And when you come back the next day, I will ask you only one question. If you give me the correct answer to the question, then I will not stop you at all." The young man thought about it a lot, and after that, he accepts the master's words. On the next day, he started walking towards peak of the mountain. He traveled a day and reached the peak of the mountain. He spent the whole night there, and before the next morning, he started looking for the eagle, while he was looking here and there. Then his eyes fell on the top of the mountain. He saw that a beautiful eagle was sitting on the top of the rock and was carefully looking at the valley below the mountain. The young man, seeing the eagle, crouched and secretly kept an eye on all its movements. The young man saw that some shepherds had brought their goats to graze in the valley, and then his eyes fell on the eagle, who was sitting very quietly. But then suddenly he lowered his flight altitude, and with a dive he reached the shepherds. By the time the shepherds saw the eagle, he caught one of the goats in his paws and took it away. By the time the shepherds could not understand anything, the prey had become a victim. He was very surprised to see that. He had understood why the master had sent him on this small journey. From there, he returned to his master, and he told the whole story of his past day to his monk. His master then asked, "Okay, tell me, what did you learn there?" That's when the young man said, "Master, the eagle is a very intelligent bird. For a long time he remained silent, but as soon as he saw his prey, he started hunting and flew with great speed. And he takes his prey along with him in an instant." From this, we understand that the eagle is very smart, powerful, and at the same time, very fast. The master laughs at this and says, "Son, you have seen him today, but if you had seen him about 3 months ago, you would not have believed it. Such eagles are found only in hilly areas, and the age of these eagles is around 80 years. However, when they reach their prime age, that is, when they have completed 40 years, an important decision has to be made, because in this condition, all 3 vital parts of their body start becoming less functional. Firstly, the claws become long and flexible, making it challenging for them to grasp prey effectively. Secondly, the beak, which is a crucial tool, starts experiencing difficulties in swallowing food. Thirdly, the wings become heavy, and due to sticking to the spine, they are not able to open fully, limiting their ability to fly. Finding, catching, and consuming prey are the 3 essential functions for these eagles. When performing these tasks becomes difficult, they are left with only 2 options: either succumb to death or undergo a transformative process. Despite the natural inclination towards death, these eagles possess a unique resilience. They refuse to accept their demise. The first option is straightforward, providing an immediate solution, while the second involves enduring extreme and prolonged pain through self-transformation. They begin by soaring to a place of tranquility and constructing a nest. Once settled, the eagle takes the unconventional approach of breaking its own weaknesses, that is, its twisted beak, by hitting it on a stone. There is nothing more painful for the bird than breaking its beak. Now it waits for the beak and claws to grow again, and then uses its claws. It breaks them and waits for the claws to grow again, and within no time new nails appear on its claws. After new feathers and claws emerge, it comes out by scratching its heavy wings one by one and waits for the wings to grow again. This process takes a full 3 months to complete. Within 3 minutes, a new rebirth of these eagles takes place, and then they experience the same feeling and high flying as before. After this rebirth, they live for 30 more years. Proceeding with respect and dignity, tell this young man that you are praising an eagle who prefers solitude, quietness, and spends 3 months in seclusion, doing penance to make itself fit for hunting. Only then does that story become worth telling. You must have observed that a strong person always finds solace in solitude, but a weak person, who has various shortcomings, tries to hide them among people. Further, the guru advises the young person, saying, "Listen carefully. If you want to be successful and leave a mark in your life, the first thing you need to do is go from being aimless to determined, from directionless to determined. Taking time for yourself, being alone, helps you focus on your tasks during the day. It keeps you sharp and helps you make the right decisions. Being alone is a good thing. You can learn something new. Another important point is that the opportunities you have today may not come again. So appreciate the value of the chances you get, especially the time alone to develop yourself. Take a look at your life, understand it, and get rid of any unnecessary distractions. You're from a big city, and you've probably noticed that city folks work tirelessly to support their families. They don't have time to learn or spend time alone, so they might not even understand the importance of solitude. Don't underestimate the struggles and loneliness that you may perceive as pointless. This is your chance to become something, and it won't come back. Here's another piece of advice. Be mindful of the people you hang out with, chat with, and spend time with. They may not even know what they're doing or how significant they are. If you spend your time with people who are doing you harm, then surely you will also become directionless. You will also not be able to understand what you have to do in your life. In the beginning, you will definitely feel some trouble in being alone, but gradually you will get used to living with it. Use loneliness to stay alone and remember your purpose. Remember why you came here and what goals you had in your life. After hearing this from Master, the young man began to think deeply and began to understand why he had come here. Then he remembered what his teacher had told him to use his loneliness, because loneliness will become solitude and it will help you move forward. The point is to find satisfaction in the practice, because the young man's guru had told him to concentrate only on the practice and not to try anything else for ourselves. When we get busy in the story of life or in trying to do something different, we go fast in the abyss prepared by our heart and mind, and our connection with the present is broken. Then we feel as if we are stuck in the story. We are very sad, we are very bored, and cannot reach the anywhere. Along with this, the young man also remembered the third advice of that guru, that whenever you get time, meditate in nature. Sit in a secluded place or under a tree. Just concentrate on your breathing. Keep your thoughts calm. Things will start happening, and when your thoughts start calming down, you will realize that you are connected with nature. You are connected with this earth. By doing this, the feeling of loneliness will start ending forever. And then you will be able to know that this journey is the only opportunity where you can know yourself completely. Only then you will be able to take advantage of loneliness, and this is how loneliness is conquered. The young man then decided that he would never leave the monastery. His story will not go any further until he achieves his goal. He came here to become the best archer, and he will leave from here only after becoming the best archer. After this, he became completely engaged in practice from the very next day. Friends, if you want to create your own identity in your life, if you want to achieve any goal in your life, then stop trying to do something different. Because when we try to do something different and something special, we forget what our goal is, and we start becoming directionless from our goal. That is why we are never able to reach our goal, because our mind is constantly motivating us to do something different for ourselves. That is why we go distracted and in confusion, and you are not able to concentrate on your goal. So if you want to achieve any goal in your life, then leave your efforts and focus only on your practice, and see that you will definitely be able to achieve your goal. Friends, if you learned something valuable in today's video, please share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's meet again in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. Thanks and Namo Buddhaye.